Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Are you able to hear me? Is it clear?
Actually, there's a bit of darkness on your side.
Yeah, there's a power cut here. Sorry for that.
No, that's perfectly fine. First of all, a very happy Independence Day to you.
1 second. I'll just try to come under better light. This
Okay.
is it better now?
Yeah, better than before.
Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, a very happy Independence Day to you.
Much.
Am I audible?
Yeah, it's very clear.
Okay, thank you. So first of all, I'll give a bit of introduction of you for our viewers, and then we'll get to you for the questions.
Sure, sure.
So hello everyone. Today we are in conversation with Mr. G. Chandish. He is a mechanical engineer from BITS Pilani. He gave his first attempt at UPSC Civil Services examination in 2016. He got selected for the Indian Information Services. In 2017, he got All India rank 245 and he got selected for the IPS, and he is a 2018 batch IPS officer from Tamil Nadu cadre. And as we have just gotten the results of UPSC CSE 2019, he also secured 198th rank in that also. So congratulations to you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
But you chose only IS as your preference, I guess,
Yeah.
in that examination.
I will not be getting that. It's okay. I had given my best. So,
Right, right.
that's.
That's good. So my first question to you is that you were a mechanical engineer from BITS Pilani. You
Yeah.
were working at Otis Elevators. So pretty lucrative career, good job, life is good. Then why and how did you decide that you wanted to be a civil servant?
See, I did not join Otis Elevator, but I had, by then I had decided to write the exam. See, in my third year, when I was involved in uh, what do you say, student politics in BITS Pilani. So other where I was a part of a mess system, managing around 200 workers and a budget. So during that time, I understood license something.
Sir, I'm sorry, but your voice is not edible. It's audible. It's a bit cracking on your side.
Uh, how is it now?
It's better.
Yeah, yeah. See, is it clear now?
Yes, it's perfect.
Yeah. See, I decided to write this exam in my third year itself. In my third year, I was involved in student politics in BITS Pilani and other
Okay.
activities where I had to take up some leadership roles, which involved
Right.
interaction with people, working with a team, and also, let's say, talking to people. How, what is empathy? What are the issues of people? So I understood that I would need a career where I interact with people and where I take up big leadership roles, which are
Right.
challenging. So I felt that I am inclined towards that, so I had chosen this profile.
Okay. So
There's a
when you did
resound.
this.
I don't know why there is a resound. Can I join again? I'll join again.
Okay, okay, fine.
Yeah, 1 second.
Yes, somebody, Shrikant Pandey, his voice is echoing. He also understood that. So let's get him to join him. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is
So
it
we'll
fine on
continue.
your side?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you. And really sorry for the disturbances.
No problem. No problem.
Okay. Hanji, so yeah. So that was how you decided that you wanted to enter the civil services examination.
Yes. So it was basically my 4 years at engineering and how I was involved in various leadership roles
Right.
and the feeling that I have to my I'll be suitable for a career in civil services. Yeah.
Okay. So when you did decide that you wanted to enter this stream, so what did you do at that time? Like you said you wanted to be a civil servant in your third year of engineering. So did you start preparing then also?
See, I understood that this is an exam which needs lot of time for preparation.
Right.
So I did not want to use my engineering years to prepare for this exam again. And also we know that the success ratio is quite less.
Right.
So if I fail in this exam, I wanted to have a good backup option. So
Okay.
I did my engineering well, and I had a good GPA, so that if I fail in exam, I had no problem. I could shift back to mechanical engineering career.
Right. So when did you start preparing like properly for this examination?
See, after I passed out in 2015, I took 1 year off
Okay.
and I started preparing for this exam.
So basically, let's say a year before your 2016's prelims
Yeah,
examination.
exactly. So 2015 July, I had gone to Delhi to prepare, and
Okay.
2016 August was the prelims. 1 year.
So did you join a coaching institute for this exam?
Yeah, see, but back then I didn't know anything. So,
Right.
like everyone, I joined Vajra.
Of course. um, do you think it is relevant because it is a very dichotomy wala situation that coaching one should do or not. So what according to you is the thing?
See, it's entirely based on the individual. Like for me,
Right.
I did not find it very useful. I
Okay.
could have prepared whatever they taught me in a lesser time.
Hmm.
So for me, it was not useful. It's see, for example, if you are a person who would like to be taught and who would like to go to classes to listen to a teacher, then maybe you
Right.
can go for it. But uh, I think for majority of the people, it's not needed in a digital world now when all the resources online. So I don't think
Right.
it's necessary.
And especially when, because the kind of time that they take for finishing the syllabus, it's a very scattered way. One day you're reading one subject, the other day you're reading completely else, other things. So I think, yeah.
So that's why it's more about persistence, patience, and being motivated. So
Right.
this is a very long journey. So yeah.
Okay. So both the years your score in prelims was pretty good. Like in 2016 it was 147, in 2017 it was 136, and both years pretty much above the cutoff.
Yeah.
What is your strategy for prelims? What did you do in that 1 year that you did not need another attempt for at least clearing your prelims?
See, prelims, the main problem is syllabus is huge and anything under the sun can be asked.
Right.
Unlike mains there is a clear cut syllabus and most of the questions are directly asked from the syllabus.
Right.
So that's the basic difference between those two. So you should limit your sources in prelims. Like no need to do multiple books. Like I had very clear and very limited books for which I had made notes and I revised it again and again.
Okay.
So that helped me. And the second thing is I analyze the question papers well. So I understand what are the areas which UPSC will be asking, which UPSC will be focusing on, and I'll prepare according to that. For example, reports. Government reports is one area which UPSC loves. Not government,
Right.
organization like IMF reports, World Bank reports. And another area which UPSC loves is wild animals and biodiversity, national parks, etc. This is another area. And one more area is international organizations. What is their mandate? So you identify the areas which UPSC keeps asking and focus on them so that you don't lose anything in that. And polity and economy and freedom struggle. These three should be your strength.
Right.
Around 35 to 40 questions come from these three every year. So if you prepare these three very well, 30 to 40 questions are already in your pocket. So you
Right.
should only focus on the rest 20 to 30 questions. So this is about the preparation part. So the other part which is involved in this is attempting more questions and smart guesses. See, prelims is not just about knowledge. It's about what you say, being smarter than the examiner.
Right.
So sometimes you have to eliminate the options and get, and you should see where you are going wrong and work on those areas. So it's about that. And don't write too many tests also. I
Okay.
only wrote 25 to 30 tests,
Hmm.
but I used to analyze them very well. So I always knew what my mistakes was correcting them.
Right.
And I knew if I guess something in economy, I'll usually be correct.
Right.
But if I guess in history, I'll be wrong. So it's about knowing your strengths, weaknesses, attempting questions smartly,
Right.
and preparing well. Thinking about UPSC.
Right. Right. Right.
So that's the thing.
Okay. So some of our viewers are asking you about the preparation strategy for modern Indian history. What was your take
See
on it?
modern in See modern Indian history. Keep it very simple.
Hmm.
Read the NCRT textbook for modern India, which is the old NCRT,
Right.
and then you take up a Spectrum book and read all the question areas which UPSC asks a lot. Like governor
Okay.
generals is one area, and acts.
Right.
Like every year there will be 1 to 2 questions on acts. Like one year they will ask 1919 act, other year they will ask 1935 act. So some or the other acts will come. And
Right.
organizations and the founders is another important area which UPSC loves. So you should see which UPSC asks and revise them a lot. So I didn't do many
Right.
sources for that, but I just understood that favorite areas of UPSC, I kept revising them. So only limited sources: Spectrum, Modern India, old NCRT, and the other book was Bipin Chandra's India Struggle for Independence. That's a very fat book. Even if you don't do it, it's okay. I did it for mains,
Okay.
so I continue to do it.
Right. And what about science? Because not a lot of questions are asked from it from prelims and especially static portion of science. So a lot of us are confused that if one is supposed to do all the NCRTs or one is supposed to read the topics individually. So what will you say about that?
Live session. Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
See, about science and technology, paper UPSC has been very, what do you say, dicey in that.
Right.
Prior to 2015, there were many static questions. But
Right.
of late, we don't find even one or two static questions, and most of them are from current affairs.
Current affairs.
So what we can do is, but anyway, you must read all the static part. Say, read ninth and 10th NCRT of science. And then biology NCRT, read the last part, which is about ecology and environment. And then you see Vision IAS, science and technology material, which you get before prelims, and also see insights so that you don't miss out any topics.
Right.
And once you do all of them, if for some static areas like nanotechnology, biotechnology, all these things, what you can do is you can take up some coaching material. Like I took coaching in Vajiram. So
Right.
I took those books and I prepared from it just for those topics.
Right. Right.
So, but mostly what I observed is over the last 3 to 4 years, most of the questions have been from the current affairs.
Hmm.
So, if you do the monthly current affairs books properly and also read Hindu and look out for those science and technology things, I think science and technology should be good.
Right. And so, especially economics, because you need very conceptual knowledge for the subject. So, after NCRTs, will you recommend reading another supplement book, or what, according to you, is sufficient for economics?
See, NCRTs are wonderful for economics.
Right.
There's a macroeconomics textbook which covers everything comprehensively.
Hmm.
And there is also Indian Economic Development textbook which gives a basic idea of Indian economy. So
Right.
if you do these two properly, and if you have any doubts, read it up on internet.
Hmm.
Like there are some things like Investopedia and other
Artipedia and
websites.
others.
Yeah. So
Right.
any query, you just check it on internet. But these two are the basic books. I did not refer any other book.
Okay.
So once you do this,
Despite of the fact that you were not from the background.
yeah, because see, I found NCRT to be very good, and
Okay.
I will read anything only if it helps me in the exam. When I have seen the previous papers, I did not find anything which is out of the box, which is out of NCRTs, or which is out of the recent current affairs in economy.
Right.
So I did not find the need to read. See, if at all you don't understand any single topic, you can find YouTube videos of Mrinal. They are also good.
Right.
So don't read any other textbook per se. For specific topic, you use YouTube or links like that.
Okay.
That will be sufficient.
Right. And for mains, as far as mains is concerned, there are a few topics, for example, developmental issues in agriculture and internal security, for whom there is no specific textbook. I mean, you can read one or two books that are in the market, but they're also not, maybe not required or not sufficient as well. So, what would you say about those topics?
See, for mains, firstly, you should understand one thing. For all topics, we don't need more than 250 to 300 words. So
Right.
your aim should be having 250 to 300 words notes for each topic mentioned in your syllabus. So for internal security, there is a book available in the market, TMH, Tata McGraw Hill. There's internal security written by an IPS officer.
Right.
So you see that once and write in a A4 sheet like what are the as per the syllabus, like terrorism. What are, like, divide your notes into four parts. What are the basic facts? What are the problems or challenges? What is India's government efforts or what initiatives we have taken? And what are the
Right.
measures which we need to take? So that's the strategy. So Vision IAS has some good material on internal security and development and other texts and other topics which are not there in any standard book.
Right.
So you take it up and update the notes from newspapers, and also second ARC reports can be seen. And if you want more, you can read Ministry of Home Affairs. There is an annual report, so that also you can read for basic introduction. So it's just about collecting 250 to 300 words and remembering them. No need to do more than that.
So, as far as answer writing is concerned, were you the kind of person who would make demo answers for like specific topics, or you will just practice answer writing and then go in the exam as it is?
No, see, I told you that your notes should be in four parts: facts, what are the measures, what are the pros, what are the cons. So if you
Right.
make sheets like this for all topics, most of it is covered. I mean, your answer, see, question style may change,
Right.
but it will be from the same topic, right? So I will write the same in a way that will suit the question.
Okay.
So it's like that.
Right. Right. Um, what about current affairs? Because it is that portion of this examination which is, the examination is hugely dependent on current affairs, and in the market you get so many resources and compendiums to cover that one gets confused. So what was your strategy for current affairs?
See, current affairs, read the Hindu properly. And before reading the Hindu, you go through your main syllabus and prelim syllabus.
Right.
And think like an examiner when you are reading the newspapers. Then you can understand what they will ask.
Okay.
So that is one thing. And Indian Express, read editorials and also the explained section of Indian Express.
Okay.
So this you can do. And apart from that, what you can do is once you do this throughout your preparation, like every month, at the end of the month, a monthly book comes. Any coaching institute. I used to see Vision IAS.
Right.
You can see Insights on India, anything to cover those parts which are missing, which you did not go through when you were reading the newspapers, because they will see 3 to 4 sources. So that is one thing. And apart from that, daily before sleeping for 10 to 15 minutes, you see Press Information Bureau releases. There are so many releases, but if you know your syllabus properly, you can minimize it.
Right.
You can know what they'll ask in exam. So it's all about, see, while you're preparing, think like an examiner. analyze the previous year questions and see what UPSC is asking. Then half of your task is done.
Okay. So, how was your experience with the interview panel all the time? Like both the times you had good marks and you got selected, you got in the list also. So, how was your experience in the interview panel?
Interview panel experience was very good. In my first attempt, they asked me about how, if you are a district collector, what are the areas you will focus on.
Right.
And then they asked me about India-Pakistan relations, India-China relations,
Hmm.
then policy of non-alignment.
Okay.
Then I had many leadership responsibilities. So they asked me, what will you do if you are a leader? How will you motivate your team? So it was like that. And in my second interview, when I had gone, it was mostly current affairs. So
Right.
it's all very random. You don't know what they'll ask. So first interview was completely my DAF.
Hmm.
Second interview completely about current affairs and other facts.
Right.
And my most recent interview in February 2020,
Hmm.
it was mostly about policing. Since I was already in the police services, it was mostly about policing.
Right.
So they said, you are the SP, Delhi riots happened. How will you avoid them? How will you motivate your constabulary? How will you deal communal rights situations? So it was mostly like
Right.
that.
Okay. So, since you did mention the policing part, in the recent events, we have seen that the police is being implicated for a lot of things. What, according to you, is the reason behind that, and how do you see this image of police changing with the course of time? Because young blood is entering the system now. So, how do you see the future of our police department?
See, already policing is changing for good.
Hmm.
It's becoming more professional and empathetic.
Right.
However, sometimes we find incidents which are not correct and which have to be condemned, like some fake encounters or some custodial deaths which keep happening.
Hmm.
They have to be dealt with in a stern manner, and whoever are the perpetrators, they need to be suspended, and strong action should be taken.
Right.
So, however, today, especially in states like Tamil Nadu, where I am working, we have
Hmm.
a reception where if any person comes to the police station, he'll be made comfortable. And a women police officer sits in the police station.
Right.
And Tamil Nadu has the distinction of having more than 400 all women police stations also.
Okay.
So it's changing for good, and we are using technology a lot to reach out to people. So the future will always be about technology and smart policing.
Right.
Yeah.
But we have seen that after wearing that uniform, there is a sense of masculinity and power which arises in an individual, which is both necessary as well as sometimes detrimental to one's performance. How do you make sure that you are in the right path?
See, there is a UPSC essay which was also asked on this. With great
Okay.
power comes great responsibility.
Right.
So you should always understand that the power of the state is vested in you to use it for the people in their best, in your best possible manner.
Right.
And humility is the most important trait which I feel is needed in a civil servant today.
Hmm.
If you are humble, if you are patient, and if you know why you have come here to serve the public, I think I will not turn out to be an arrogant officer or someone who is masculine or someone who just thinks about his power and uses it in a malified manner.
Right.
So it's all about the individual and how strong your ethical values and systems are.
Right. Right. So, the last question of the session.
Yeah.
Suppose the next exam for 2021 is scheduled to be on June, or 1st June or 2nd June 2021, and today is the 15th of August, 9.5 approximate months. What do you have to say to somebody who's going to start preparing from tomorrow, let's say? Because 9 months is an okayish time for
Yeah, yeah.
the exam. So, what do you have to say to somebody who starts tomorrow? How to take those baby steps so as to complete the syllabus at least before 2 months before the exam or a month before the exam?
See, firstly, limit your books. Don't read too many books.
Right.
There is my blog which is available in Google.
Hmm.
So you can see that G Chandish IPS. So just Google
Okay.
it, you'll get it. And there are books mentioned in that.
Hmm.
Very, very few books. So read them only. Don't read more.
Right.
Try to revise them multiple times, as many times as possible. And if possible, try to make good notes. See, the advantage of making notes is once you make notes, for one attempt. Like I worked hard for my first attempt. After that, I never worked so hard. I just used to revise the notes which I've already made. So in your first attempt, make good notes, complete the syllabus, limit your sources, revise multiple times.
Right.
So that's the simple strategy. And
And
please
what?
don't ignore newspaper. Like there are some people who ignore newspaper and they just read the what do you say, summaries and all.
Right, right.
So but I'm strongly against it. Newspaper is very much necessary.
Okay. And what do you have to say to somebody for, let's say, couldn't clear the exam twice or thrice or 4 times and who's stuck in the loop? What is your message to that person?
See, firstly, this exam is very, very random sometimes. So
Yes.
even if you work hard, we might not get results. So if you think that you are losing out prelims by a big margin, let's say 10 to 20 marks,
Right.
and you try to correct it, but still you are again losing it by 10 to 20 marks, that means there is some issue, or maybe this exam is not for you. But
Right.
let's say first time you missed the exam by 4 to 5 marks. Second time you again improved, and this time you had done better. You crossed prelims, you went to mains.
Right.
So that means you are improving, and you know how the exam works. So if you are in that stage, then it's good in continuing. But
Okay.
if you had missed out on prelims 3 to 4 times with huge margins, that means maybe this exam is not suitable for you.
Right.
See, this exam is not life. There are many other career options, and there are many successful people who did not take this career option also.
Right.
So you have to shift, and you should know where to draw a line. Let's say I've already given 3 attempts.
Hmm.
So I'll feel that okay, fine. I have given my best, and I got this service. It's okay. Now I should be
Okay.
happy with it. Let's say if I have given 3 attempts and I didn't get any service, then I should think that okay, maybe there's something wrong in my strategy, or maybe this exam is not suitable for me.
Right.
So try to learn not from your own mistakes, from mistakes of others. Because this exam, if you do one mistake, the cost is 1 year. Another mistake, one more year. So in this exam, the mistakes are very, very costly.
Right. So, sir, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Today's session was a session that I was the most excited about because IPS, I think this is my choice of preference, has been since I was a small kid.
Okay.
I hope you had fun also, and thank you so much for interacting with us and our viewers. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. So if you have any other unresolved questions, you can
Right.
message me on my Instagram account. Direct, you can send a direct message.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
please, direct questions, no generic questions like, "Sir, I passed class 12th. What I can do?" Like, you
Yeah.
please go through the notification, go through the syllabus,
Right.
and then if you have specific doubts, I can definitely help you.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah,
so much, sir. May
my
the
pleasure.
force be with you and you be the best in your field.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.